Welcome, everybody. Pain Train, Pipe Bomb time. Jim, what's going on?
I am just doing great, dude. What's going on with you?
Okay, well, just to start off our Raw review, we've decided to break down Raw and SmackDown separately. But we do have a shout-out from a lot of other guys that were on our YouTube page already, and we promote it as Pain Train Pipe Bomb on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Like, subscribe, comment, do whatever the fuck you want to do with it. Charlie Taylor has been like our most loyal listener so far.
Absolutely. He's been really on the ball with everything every time. It's like something gets put up, he's right there on it.
And we also shout out to a YouTube channel, TSS NCS, for commenting on one of our WrestleMania videos, as well as Rewind Remix NCS, who also commented, but I'm not sure if the page is still there. So if he's not there, thank you for the comment anyway.
Yes, thank you very much, guys.
Okay, so Raw from April 3rd, 2017. Sorry for that little gap there. I'll fix that. Has the opening segment of Roman Reigns being booed out of the building.
And
oh my God.
ECW style chants just flooding through the arena.
In a later interview, he said that he could have stayed out there like 15 more minutes and just let people like scream at him.
Yeah, he's like, he feeds off of it. It's ridiculous. You can see it in his face.
And the idiot only says one fucking line and then walks out of the fucking arena. Yeah, well,
that just seems like his total heel push right there.
Well, that's why he's still one of the reigning turds of the week until we come up to the new one.
Of course.
So now, after that lovely little hoo-ha of Roman Reigns being fucking shit on, basically, in Orlando at the Amway.
Yeah.
They do have then a somewhat of a rematch for the Raw Tag Team titles.
Yeah.
Between Gallows and Anderson, who are the former champs, and the Hardys. It ends up being that Matt and Jeff end up really just squeaking one out in this match.
Yeah, literally.
It does show that they are getting a little bit older, but they still have the moveset to maintain.
They absolutely do. I mean, Jeff, Matt, they are, I mean, let's just put it this way, they're fucking crazy.
Do you really see them having a longer title reign than what everybody expects them to?
If they don't lose the titles at the next pay-per-view, I got a feeling they'll lose it on either the Raw the next night or the pay-per-view after that.
Well, now we have because we record on Thursdays and it's Monday Night Raw and Sundays that they do pay-per-views.
Yeah.
It's a little under 3.5 weeks away for the next pay-per-view.
Oh.
They finally gave us a break between pay-per-views for saving money and doing whatever.
Yeah, right.
Having social lives. So they have that match. Matt and Jeff win. We then go to the Cruiserweights, who were buried on the WrestleMania pre-show, as we've mentioned previously.
Yeah, we definitely did.
Neville here ends up trying to have this big celebration. Oh, I beat Aries and yada, yada, yada. And ends up being interrupted by Mustafa Ali.
I gotta say, that guy is a little impressive.
He is, however, it's a no-name guy that they have not been pushing a lot as of late to now, I guess, spice up the Cruiserweight division, which they'll probably still bury the fuck anyway.
Most likely they will.
Then Miss Lady Balls herself, Stephanie McMahon, is not on Raw this past Monday.
I wonder why.
Well, her husband put her through a table.
Yes.
So she's not there, and obviously Triple H is not there because he does that run like a bitch thing after every time he loses at a pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah. And you mean the run like a bitch thing that you don't see him for a few months?
You don't see him for like 6-7 months, and then all of a sudden, like, he reappears like a big pimple that nobody could ever find.
Ooh, that prom night pimple. Oh.
Yes, I hate those pimples.
Right?
Especially you know that they're there, and then you go to look and you don't see anything there. Like 2 days later, it's back.
Oh,
that's nuts.
That's just gross.
So the big man himself, Vince McMahon, comes out and makes the announcement, well, 2 announcements actually, that next week between Raw and SmackDown, they're doing a superstar shakeup.
Oh, it's going to be interesting.
That's almost like saying you're just going to sit there and do trade deadline stuff between the two shows.
Yeah.
And then hope and pray that when they resurrect this Raw SmackDown draft bullshit, that you don't just end up trading the guys back to where they originally were.
I mean, I'm hearing a lot of rumors that Styles can end up on Raw because SmackDown brought up Nakamura.
Well, at this also same juncture, if you take Styles away from SmackDown, I kind of think you dilute it unless you're going to end up taking a lot of the major talent off of Raw and putting it on SmackDown, because that's the only way you're really going to balance it out.
Like, in your opinion, who can you really see leaving Raw to go to SmackDown?
Well, actually, if you think about it, if you really want to keep AJ on SmackDown, well, why don't you put Gallows and Anderson on SmackDown? Instead of moving AJ from SmackDown, where you know he's going to be making the money and he's putting butts in the seats, so to speak. You know, you bring Gallows and Anderson, put him back there, then you're great. But then you already have Finn Balor on Raw, and that's part of the original club to begin with.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
So it's kind of like it's a toss-up of what they really want to do.
I don't know why, but I just had this thought in my mind that for some reason I would like to see an AJ Styles Finn Balor feud.
Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing AJ versus Nakamura again.
That would be
They
epic.
had it in New Japan. Why not?
That would be epic.
That would be probably one of their best bets, I would have to say.
I would love to see that.
You know, they need headliners on SmackDown.
Yes, they do.
A very small roster for 2 hours. I mean, you could jam more in 2 hours on SmackDown than you can on Raw for 3.
Right? And how many hours on Raw is spent with bullshitting in the ring, bullshitting backstage? Like,
It's too much promo.
That's what it is.
It's too much promo, and it's just not the way Raw used to be. It used to be a lot of action. You got a 30, 40-second promo from, like, Mean Gene or Cole when he was a fucking young shit back in the day. Fucking panty waist that he was. Wait, he still is a panty waist. Never mind. But anyway, like, they really should have just... They have so much of a roster that they just need to have more matches.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we already fast forward through 48 minutes of fucking commercials as it is. I'm pretty sure you could do 2 hours and 15 minutes worth of matches and less promos.
I mean, they should really rename it to Monday Night Promo, because that's what all it's become.
Exactly the point.
Yeah.
McMahon's second announcement is that there's no actual GM on Raw at this point.
Nope.
Fully fired, and Miss Lady Balls herself is not on the program, so he makes a special announcement of who the new GM is.
Ooh.
And I'm actually, it was in the cards. We really knew that it was coming. So he makes this announcement of Kurt Angle is now the Raw general manager.
That's going to shake up Raw so much now.
But now here's the thing, and it's kind of funny in a way that it happens.
Yeah.
But Angle's going to be a face.
Of course.
Same way Foley was. And then you have Stephanie McMahon, Miss Lady Balls herself. She's got to be a heel fucking commissioner at that point, or GM, or whatever.
Just to see the two of them butting heads.
Just like they did back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty then.
Anyway, Jim Carrey got a little bit of a plug here.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so now Angle comes out. They still do the "You Suck" chant, which I thought was classic.
Classic, nostalgic, hysterical, hilarious.
So then, after this whole thing, Angle's going to shoot his little promo, whatever.
Yeah.
In the midst of all that bullshit, Teddy Long comes out thinking that he was promoted to the GM. He's doing his funky little dance on the stage with his music playing.
Yeah.
And then McMahon goes, "It wasn't you." And then he pulls an R-Truth and goes, "Oh, my bad."
Oh, that shit was hysterical.
That's some gimmick infringement if it's not like in itself at that point.
Who knows? I mean, R-Truth are probably boys, but maybe you gave him permission.
So now we have an open challenge by the New Day.
Oh, yeah.
And I hate to say it, but at some points, they really should just bring this chant back and... Because it's just, again, they're retarded.
Right. For lack of a better term, but I can't stand the New Day.
And being the fact that it's the Raw after WrestleMania, you know, when they really shake things up, like they have somebody like out of the blue just show up. Well, they brought up the Revival from NXT.
That was unexpected.
Not only was it unexpected, but that group of guys are like classic throwback wrestlers.
Yeah.
Who, you know, their movesets, they just like to punch people and kick people. And they're not a lot of high-flying maneuvers. They're a lot more technical maneuvers for them.
They're just brawlers, basically.
And they end up beating the New Day.
Yeah.
And I really just don't have anything to say about it. Because, you know, at some point, the New Day need to step aside and let other teams in and show themselves.
So basically, the New Day is kind of like the tag team version of Roman Reigns, you know, getting shoved down everyone's throats.
It's not even that. It's more of like they're the comedy gimmick.
Yeah.
And the comedy gimmick is kind of getting stale.
Yeah. Getting stale or has been stale?
Yeah, well, I think it's a combination of both, but it's like bad bread when you just leave it in the package too long.
Ooh.
Especially outside of the fridge, it starts getting all moldy and nasty.
Yeah.
That's the way the New Day's going.
I mean, if just sticking the New Day in WrestleMania as the host and not putting them in a match should say something about that.
Well, in a way, I'm kind of also seeing that New Day in the WrestleMania lineup kind of like just log jammed it. Because you didn't see the Usos defend the tag team titles in WrestleMania.
That's true.
So New Day not being there and just having a host thing, you only get to see them for like 3 minutes, which is kind of great.
Yeah.
Because then, you know, then they probably would have gotten a turn of the week mentioned during WrestleMania.
Right.
So now, here's where I find this segment interesting.
Which is?
Because Lesnar and Heyman come out to do a promo.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny how the promo goes, because Lesnar is now not waiting for somebody to be appointed as a number one contender. He just wants to whoop the shit out of everybody. The two-trick pony and Brock Lesnar. Now, mind you, when Lesnar was younger, I loved him because he just was destructive.
Yeah.
But now, with only 2 moves, I'm not exactly too sure of my like for Lesnar anymore. It's kind of hard. It really is just kind of hard.
It's very hard to have a liking in Lesnar now.
So, now, obviously, Heyman is talking.
Well,
and it's a little on the far-fetched side, because now he brings into account that the Undertaker's record, the 2 in the record, he wants to have a match with now Roman Reigns.
Ooh.
Which would now turn Lesnar face and have Reigns as heel.
Yeah.
All fine and good.
Okay.
However, Braun Strowman comes out and has a face-off with Lesnar in the ring. Now, Lesnar's not exactly a small guy.
Right.
But up to next to Strowman, he's like 5 inches shorter.
Oh, my God. He made Lesnar look small.
Big Show made Strowman look small. And now Strowman makes Lesnar look small, which, in a way, he kind of turned around and said, you know what? Fuck Reigns. I want you. Like, I want the title shot, you know. Like, I need that fucking proverbial kick in the ass or the dick in the ass or whatever the fuck he needs. Because, you know, he's big country strong with the little Superman tattoo on his arm. And I think that's probably one of the gayest things I've ever seen.
How he's got that Superman tattoo in the middle of that tribal tattoo?
Yes. And I don't know what they have. I think maybe he has the country strong tattoos on his arms.
Yeah.
On the inside, or you never know because you really can't see it.
Right.
Because he never really flexes to see his arms out like that.
True.
But anyway, we digress on that whole tattoo shit.
Yeah, we do.
You know, he calls Lesnar out and then just stands there and goes, I'm going to do this on my time, like Lesnar would do every once in a while. And then walks out of the ring like a little bitch. You know, again, Strowman's character, it definitely does need a lot of work. Mm-hmm. A lot of work.
Yes, it does.
But it sets up future storylines for time to come.
Well, we'll just see what happens, see what they have in mind. That's all.
Then they have, after this lovely debacle of a promo, because they really didn't get anything accomplished, the number one contenders match for the Raw Tag Team titles in a match between Sheamus and Cesaro and Enzo and Big Cass.
Oh, boy.
So now I'm seeing this as like another really retarded fucking tag team match.
Right.
And I'm tired of like the same old shit promo. We're getting the same tag teams being shoved down our throats again.
Well, Raw really doesn't have that great of a tag team division to begin with.
But also to the same effect. Now, maybe it's just me. I'm not exactly sure of how they really want to push Enzo and Cass. You know, Cesaro and Sheamus really kind of are there.
Yeah.
In that fact, Sheamus and Cesaro. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The Irish Swish connection, I'm going to call them from now on.
That's pretty good.
They end up beating Enzo and Cass for the win. So they become the number one contenders for the titles.
Yeah.
And I'd actually really like to see them one-on-one with the Hardys. Because I know between the four of them, the movesets are going to be ridiculous.
That's going to be nuts.
The mic work, I think, is going to be ridiculous, too. Because if the broken gimmick still has just a little glimpse of hope in the Hardys right now,
maybe.
I definitely think that's going to be a very interesting storyline for Payback.
That's right. Payback is the next pay-per-view.
Yes, I think it's April 30th, I believe, is the date.
Yeah.
Because they gave us actually 4 weeks of breath.
Yeah, April 30th is the next pay-per-view.
So now we've come to what they call that fucking shit segment. That one that they squeeze in right before the main event.
Oh, yeah.
And, again, it's Sami Zayn and Jinder Mahal.
Oh.
They're both afraid of the superstar shakeup.
Right.
Zayn actually has more to gain on this than Jinder Mahal.
The Zayn gain.
Yes. He is El Generico from Ring of Honor and New Japan. Again, rode with Owens throughout a lot of his career.
Yeah.
I still say that they don't give him the push that he is. He's kind of like that mid-card jobber type thing. Like they did that with him and Strowman. And,
yeah.
You know, and then they had him the match last week, which, again, the Raw made me sick. That's why we didn't do it. I could say that I probably threw up in my mouth about 8 times last week watching Raw.
Yeah, no good.
So, yeah, we weren't doing that. I don't think our listeners would have wanted to have us throwing up in our mouths while we were doing the review. So.
And they hear that in their ears, and it causes them to throw up.
Yeah, we don't need a chain gag reaction. So, this segment actually deserves this.
It's the turd of the week.
Now, turd of the week, I'm going to hand off this week to Jinder Mahal.
Yes, congratulations, Jinder.
We have a new reigning turd of the week. Reigns does not... He deserves it still, but I feel that Jinder Mahal, with his muffin top haircut and his surprisingly dramatic change in muscle mass...
Right, you saw that?
It's insane. I know he was training with Rusev, and it's a difference because you're training with somebody who works out like a beast in their own home. But at the same right, Jinder Mahal really should just been tossed to the side pretty much almost like the way Heath Slater was.
That's it? Just tossed over?
He needs to be put in a fucking trailer park somewhere and hidden up with like a 400-pound behemoth woman who like says, "Oh, I can't get on top."
And then tries her best to get on top.
And it smells like fucking rotten, disgusting onions and throw up.
Sorry, guys.
And if nobody's noticed, that there's a little bit of a throw up theme in this episode this week besides Turd of the Week.
Apparently. And speaking of Turd of the Week, unfortunately with Roman Reigns not winning Turd of the Week, that means Roman Reigns does not get the trifecta of Turd.
The month is still early.
That it is.
It's still early, and he's only gotten the turd out of like a 5-week period. So you know. There's still hope for you, Roman. There's still hope.
There's a lot of hope for you, you dope.
So anyway, now we have Sami Zayn win this match. The turd of the week is pretty much put in a fucking trash bag and tossed out. I'm hoping he really just gets cut off for a period because I'm just tired of him.
Who isn't?
So now we move to the main event of Raw.
Ooh,
dealing with kind of a segment from before where Jericho was shooting a promo earlier in the night.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be tagging with Seth Rollins to go against Owens and Samoa Joe in Raw's main event.
Right.
They conveniently take him out.
Ooh.
So now it's Seth Rollins basically against Owens and Samoa Joe. Oh, excuse me.
Ooh.
And it ends up being the return of Finn Balor to Raw.
How sick was that?
I agree with the return of him. However, if you really want to make a dramatic entrance, I think he should have come out as the Demon.
He definitely should have came out as the Demon King, but one thing I gotta comment on this is that with them having Finn Balor return and teaming up with Seth Rollins, that just completely threw away the start of their rivalry that they had before Balor got injured.
Well, also remember this, that back in the day, Owens did hurt Balor at NXT.
Right.
So kind of it could be like the Rollins-Balor Revenge Tour on Owens and Samoa Joe. Because think of it this way, Samoa Joe also put Rollins out.
Yeah.
And he did the same thing with Balor too. So, between the two of them, you can kind of just balance it out for now and then not have to worry about it until later.
That's a very good point.
Because at this point right now, how many faces do you really have on Raw?
Not many, I believe.
Exactly the point. So having them team up for now just puts differences to the side. It wasn't like Rollins intentionally put him out to begin with.
No.
I mean, it was a buckle bomb into the ringside barrier, but at the same time, though, things that happen inside the ring can just go as bad outside of the ring, too.
Yeah, no, I know it wasn't, Seth Rollins intentionally putting Balor on the shelf, but their rivalry was pretty, if you want to call it a rivalry, their rivalry was pretty good before he got hurt.
Yeah, but you know what? Times change, and I guess, Rollins is not in the same mindset as he was when he was under Triple H's wing, so to speak.
Yeah.
Time changes people, so maybe they had a discussion backstage and said, hey, let's toss the bullshit to the side and let's get the common business taken care of.
That's right. Good point.
So it ends up being that the end of the match, this match was fairly good, I'd have to say. It was the outcome of Balor and Rollins winning over Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens.
Wow.
And obviously Balor got the victory, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, you had to give Balor the victory in that.
My only downfall to this match is the fact that, again, Rollins has got the fucked up knee, and he's doing all this high-flying shit.
You gotta be careful.
I have a feeling, though, at one point, no matter how you try to compensate for the injury, so to speak, whether it's healed or not, he's going to end up blowing that shit out again. He'll be done.
You really think so?
I have a feeling of it because it's almost like you get the adrenaline rush to do the move, and then after you've done the move, the adrenaline kind of slips out a little bit, and then the pain is back.
Ooh.
And I could count maybe about 7 or 8 times, if without them working on the bad knee, that he did a high-flying maneuver, and he just couldn't do it.
He's got to really take it easy. It's like he's not the, type of wrestler that he was before he got hurt anymore. He's just got to come to, that realization.
To me, I really do see him as, let me shoot about 2 or 3 weeks of promos, have a warm-up match before, let's say, like Payback, and then you have him for another week where you're really not doing anything with him, have the match, and kind of like rework his schedule to get him back in.
Right.
I know they do a ton of live shows. In fact, Raw from this coming Monday is going to be at the newly renovated Mausoleum in Nassau, so that should be fun.
Yes, if anyone's wondering, we call it the Mausoleum. We've been calling it that for years.
Hopefully it looks a lot better. I heard it's got a lot of remodeling done. I just haven't seen any pictures.
I'm going to be there next month for Metallica, so I'll let you know.
Yeah, that's right. The Metallica show is going to be there.
Shout out to Metallica. You're the best guys.
So we've now gone through this whole entire card of things to go. Oh, wait, there was one match that I didn't see on this lovely little WWE Raw bullshit review that I really should have.
That's no bueno.
They did have, I believe...
Which one?
Something with the Divas? Not the Divas, the women?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Did I miss that?
That's right. They're not called Divas anymore.
Ah, yeah, see? My brain did have a reboot.
Wait a second. Are you implying that you had a brain fart?
Yes, I did.
Oh, well.
Okay. So there was the 6-woman tag match where now Emma has started her bitching again.
Ugh. I mean, she's hot, but come on.
I like her as a heel, though. I really do like her as a heel. She's not doing that bubbly bullshit anymore.
She makes a great heel, I gotta say. And stupid of Zack Ryder for breaking up with her. Just had to throw that in.
Fuck her.
He did already. That's why he's an idiot.
Too.
What?
I probably would, too.
Let's just hope the wives don't hear this.
If you could turn off the attitude, I'd be okay.
Right?
Anyway, so it ends up being a 6-woman tag team match between Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, and Emma going against Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Dana Brooke.
Oh, nice.
But it ended up being that the faces win.
Yeah.
And Charlotte throws a temper tantrum at the end of the match.
Against her own teammates, out of all people.
And gets annihilated by Nia Jax.
That's one strong-looking woman.
I want to see that, though. I do really want to see that, only to the effect being is that if the rumors are true and Charlotte's not staying around as long as she thought she was going to.
Why? What's going on? I didn't even hear that.
They were saying something. She was in an interview with Renee Young. I think it was like last year.
Okay.
That she was literally thrown into the wrestling business. She really wasn't going to be... It wasn't an idea of hers, but her dad kind of pushed her into it a little bit.
That's him.
So they would have that next generation of Flairs in the ring.
Yeah.
And she was like, I really wasn't planning on doing this, but like by the time I turned, I think she said it was either, I don't even remember how old she is. No. And I'm usually better on the numbers, but I think she said until like her early 30s, she didn't want to wrestle anymore. She like had like a deadline of like how long she wanted to wrestle for, and it ended up being that like when it came down to that certain age, she wasn't going to do it anymore. She was just going to bow out gracefully and just let everybody else take over.
I'm personally hoping that she does hit the fucking road because she's annoying me.
I know she's annoying, but she's probably one of the best women's talents on the roster.
Right?
So if it ends up being that they end up doing somehow make a storyline, I know it's heel versus heel.
Right.
But maybe, just maybe, she might... Oh, she's 31 now, so... Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
She's 31 now, so maybe in like the next 2 years, she's got to be able to kind of like put the newer women over and build up the division better.
Hopefully.
Because, you know, Nia Jax and Charlotte, I think that would be very interesting.
You imagine that? And that nice little rivalry going between the two of them, especially their, I don't know, second or third generation superstars.
Well, I don't know if Nia exactly got a generation. I know it's the family lineage, but the Flair thing, is she second generation?
I don't know.
No, because David Flair was a wrestler too, so...
So she's technically third generation in the Flair family.
I think so.
Anyway, David's the one who passed away, right?
Yeah, I think he was the one that passed away, but he was also in WCW.
Was he?
He never made the Raw run. Because he also teamed up with that guy, Crowbar. Remember back in the day?
Oh, shit, yeah.
It was him and Daphne.
Oh, wow.
Who ended up becoming a female wrestler in TNA at that point after that.
Yep.
Yeah, so Charlotte's got there's lineage behind her, too, so I don't know if you really can consider her a second generation.
I don't know. She's definitely first generation annoying.
Yeah, that and sometimes when they do her hair wrong, she looks like a horse.
And it's funny, too, because... I'll just throw this out real quick. A bunch of my friends who are, avid wrestling fans, just like you and I are, who basically I bust their balls calling them like celebrity stalkers because everywhere you see them, they're getting autographs and pictures with celebrities. They said, believe it or not, that Charlotte was a complete bitch when they try to get pictures and autographs, and they said that she's totally like arrogant and full of herself. you can kind of get why she's like that. I mean, look who her father is.
Yeah, that's a little on the true side, but I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not. First off, I'm not an autograph chaser.
Me neither. Not anymore,
I
that is.
do have a lot of other better things to do than be running around the city. You know, like I work and make money and try to build a life for myself besides being like an immature little millennial. Oh, I can't even get the word out of my mouth. I'm starting to get a little bit pissed off. You know, it's going to be for the better episodes for later tonight, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to throw out there that I am starting to fear for my life right now because he's getting angry again.
And mind you, everybody that hears this now, this is going to be the first episode that we post. Yeah. So this is one of 3 or 4 possible videos that we're releasing for this weekend. So there's a lot of percolation going on. A lot of stupid people, too. So.
Save me, people. Save me.
So any final comments for Raw?
Raw was a definite pickup from the week before. Believe it or not, I give Raw a 7.5 out of 10 rating for this week. Because of the fact that it was a pickup from last week.
Being the fact that they brought up the revival.
Oh, yeah.
Is a plus. Because it adds to the roster.
Yeah.
It creates a little bit more room in the tag team division.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Outside of that, and Balor's return, I really can't rate it as high.
Yeah.
But it does set the future storylines. So I would give it about a 7.
Fair enough.
So we're like at 7.5 for the thing.
Fair enough.
Okay? So thanks to everybody for listening, and we'll catch you on the flip side.